Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my Kiwi top tutorial, and I am filming this on a different day as well, so my nails are even more chipped and I have pen marks from something else I'm working on. But in this video we will be working on adding the brown to our top. And for the top, so you can see I only have one round of the browns, so the way you attach it will be a little bit different because so the one that I made already, this one is, if I put it against my body, this is going to be on the right side. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to attach it, and I'm going to be starting from the opposite side because it's going to be on the left side of my body. So it will be attached a little bit differently, but I'll explain that in a little bit. First, let me go ahead and show you how I attach the brown. Okay, so I have my brown yarn and I'm going to attach it right at this corner. So I'm just going to insert my crochet hook through that corner, and then I'm going to take the yarn and just pull it through the loop, and then I'm going to tie it right here. Okay, so now if you were I'm going to explain the other side as well. So when you attach it to your second piece, you would be attaching it to the opposite side. So you can see how I attach this one on the corner. The other one would be right at this side because you're going to be crocheting upwards that way. And once you get to the top of here, this is where you would crochet your band, and then on this side is where you have the strap for the side of the body. So because we're working on the left side first, we're going to be starting off with the band right here. If you attach it right here first, you would be going upwards and you would just go straight that way, and you're not creating the band first. So because we're doing the left side, let's go ahead and create the band, and the band is this right here. So this one. So let's go ahead, and what you're going to do first, take your crochet hook and insert it back into that same loop. You're going to grab your brown yarn and pull it through. And now we're going to create a chain. So just to remind you what a chain is, you will have to yarn over your hook and pull through. Yarn over your hook and pull through. The chain is going to depend. Okay, so for my chain I'm going to do an 82, but it's going to depend on your body, like how long do you want your chain to be, or you know, how wide your body is. So I'm going to do mine for a chain of 82, and remember you will be making the other side as well, so you can just wrap it around your body and see how much you would need. And mine again is an 82, so I'll go ahead and do that off camera, and then you chain the amount that you need for it to go around your body. So I will be back after I finish my chain. I now have my chain of 82, so I'll show you how to go back so we can make it all the way back to this corner right here. So what you're gonna do is start off with a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Actually, let's go into the third chain. So this is the one closest to the hook, the second, here's the third. Let's just single crochet into that one. Okay, now you're going to chain 2, so yarn over your hook, pull through, yarn over your hook, pull through, and then you're going to single crochet in. Now you're just going to repeat that, so yarn over your hook, chain, yarn over for another chain, then you want to single crochet into the next chain right here. And then next you're going to single crochet into the next chain. Then let's go ahead and chain again. So chain 2, 1, 2, go into the next chain to single crochet. Now I'm just going to repeat that until I make it all the way back to this corner here, and then I'll be back. But before I finish everything off camera, I will show you one last time. So let's go ahead and first chain 2. We're going to single crochet into this chain here, so the next chain. After that, you're going to single crochet into the next chain. And then you're just repeating that. So chain 2, go into the next chain, next chain, let's single crochet. So I'll do that off camera and then I'll be right back. As you make this, it will start to curl up, so what you can do is just tug on it and just straighten it out a bit, and it should be fine. It will still have a little bit of curl to it, but I think it looks fine. So now I'm almost done, and I'll be back once I reach the end. So I made it back to the end over here, and once you reach back to your corner, you can go ahead and just single crochet into where you've tied your brown yarn. So I'm just going to single crochet into there. And then now we can work upwards into our top. So what you're going to do is just chain 2. And then you're going to single crochet into the stitch. Now as you single crochet, you can crochet over this brown yarn as well. So you can just, tuck it and hide it into place. So I'm going into this chain. So you can see the green there. I'm going to go right into it and just do a single crochet. And for the sides, it's literally just chaining 2 and single crochet. So let's go again by chaining 1, 2, go into your stitch and just single crochet. This yarn might be in the way, but remember to just tuck it behind and crochet over it. So go ahead and chain 2 and then single crochet. I'll show that one more time before I finish it off camera. So let's go ahead and chain 2, 1, 2, and then single crochet into the stitch. And I'll show you how it looks. So this one is just like smaller bumps than what was over here. So you're going to single crochet all the way until you make it to the top. Don't go into the stitch marker just yet. If you already removed your stitch marker, just don't go straight into the top point right here. And then I'll be right back. Now that I made it all the way to the top, you can see I stopped right before the stitch marker, and now we're going to create a chain, but I'm also going to remove a stitch marker because I don't need it anymore. And the chain again is going to depend on the length you want it for, how it wraps around the top part. It goes around your neck, so you can just measure how much you think you'll need. Usually I add a couple extra stitches just in case, but I'm going to do a chain of 70. So I'll show you a couple before I go off camera. So let's go ahead, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. Remember, this is a chain, and I'm going to go ahead and do my chain of 70 off camera, and then I'll be right back. I now have my chain of 70, so we're going to work back down so we can make it back to the top part of our bra. And what we're going to do first is a half double crochet into the third chain. So this is the first chain, the one right next to the hook. This is the second. Here is the third. Let's do a half double crochet. We're going to do that by yarning over our hook. Now let's go into the third chain. Grab some yarn, pull it through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. That was a half double crochet. Now you're going to chain 1, so yarn over your hook and pull it through. Then you're going to do a double crochet into the next chain. So yarn over your hook, go into the next chain, grab some yarn, pull it through. You have your 3 loops on the hook. This time yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. Next, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to slip stitch into the next chain. So here's the next chain. Grab the yarn and pull it through that chain and the loop on your hook. That was the slip stitch. And you can see there is our one little scallop. Now you're just going to repeat that all the way through until you make it back to the top. And of course, I'll show you 2 more times. So first, let's start off with a half double crochet. Yarn over your hook, go into the next chain, pull the yarn through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a half double. Now you're going to chain 1, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to do a double crochet. Yarn over your hook, go into your next chain, grab some yarn to pull it through. You have 3 loops on the hook. This time yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and then pull through the last 2. Next, you're going to chain 1 and slip stitch into the next chain. Pull it straight through the chain and the loop on your hook. And this is what it looks like. Okay, now let me show you one last time before I go off camera. Let's go ahead and start off with a half double crochet, yarn over your hook, go into the next chain, pull through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now chain 1. Let's do a double crochet, yarn over, go through your next chain. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Now let's chain 1 and slip stitch into the next chain. So this one here, just go through, grab some yarn, and pull it straight through. And this is what we're looking like, so I'll be back once I make it back all the way to the top. Okay, so I made it back to the top part, and as you can see here, this last scallop doesn't really have a place for the last stitch to go. So my slip stitch, all you can do is, if you have this issue, all you can do is just go into the same stitch and do your last slip stitch. Just put it into the same chain. It won't be that big of a deal. And then now we're going to single crochet back into here so we can attach the strap. So then once you make it to the bottom, you can just single crochet it right to the top over here. And then you're going to be working your way downwards by doing the same thing you did on this side over here. You're just going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then single crochet into the stitch. Chain 1, 2, and then single crochet into the stitch here. Okay, so now before I keep going on, I want to mention that the straps part right here. So you can see this is our left side, this is the right. So you can see how this strap right here lays, the scallop lays towards that direction. This scallop right here is also going to lay towards that direction. And if you don't like that, so the thing is, when you lay it on your body, it's gonna like kind of tilt up like this, so you don't notice it anyways. But if you don't like the way that this direction lays, you can just flip this strap around, and then you can go back in later and just sew this part like this, just sew it to the brown, and it'll lay the other direction. But again, when you wear it on your body, it kind of stands up straight, so you don't really notice it. But if it does bother you, I'll show you at the end how I can sew this together to make it flip this way instead, because it does currently lay like that. But let's go ahead and just finish this bottom part, and then I'll be right back. Remember, it's just a chain of 2, 1, 2, and then you single crochet, and you're only going to go all the way up into this corner right here. Also, with this excess piece of yarn right here, you can just crochet over it, or you can cut it off, whatever you prefer. But I'm just going to crochet over it and then cut off that excess there. But I'll be back once I reach this area. All right, so now that we made it towards the bottom here, you can see our edges look really nice. So for this bottom part right here, we're just going to also, well, actually, we're just going to single crochet this because you can attach the bottom part a different way. So I want it to be just a straight single crochet in case you wanted a different border. So once you reach this corner here, just go ahead and just single crochet. So I'm going to go right into this corner and single crochet all the way across until I make it to the end. And since we already know what a single crochet is, I'll do this off camera, but these aren't really stitches, so you can just try to find a spot for it to go into and just crochet along the bottom part, and also cover this as you crochet as well. So I made it back towards the beginning part of where we started. So what I'm going to do now is just take my scissors, cut some off, and then I'll take this part of the yarn and put it through the loop. And we're just going to secure it that way. You can also go ahead and, I'm working on the back side now, you can go ahead and find a stitch close by, and you want to make sure that it's secured. So if I can get through this stitch, okay, there. And then you're going to go through just enough until you have a loop and secure it off. You can do that a couple more times and then cut off the excess piece of yarn. So I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll be right back. So we now have both of our tops here, and when you line it up, you can see, as I mentioned earlier, that the scallops move the same way. If you want to fix that to make it go the opposite direction, you're going to have to sew it a different way. But again, when you wear the top, it will kind of like stick up like this, so you won't really notice it. But in case anybody wants to just make the scallops go the same way, here's what you can do. You can flip it like this to lay in that direction you want. You're going to take a threading needle with some yarn, of course the same color that you were working with, and then you can just sew it from the back side like this or this way. I'm going to do it this way. And then I'm going to take my needle, poke it from the back, and adjust it to make it twist the direction I want it to go. And then you have to go back through the scallop on the top. And then you would go into where the brown is at the bottom. And then you can see it twists the other way. I don't think it's a big deal if you left it the other way, but in case you did want the top to look like this, where it flips to the other side. Okay, so I just sewed it a few more times. I added a couple of spots to this side and this side to make it a little bit more secured. You're going to have some excess yarn. You can go ahead and tie your two pieces. And then you can cut it off or weave it in. So I'm going to go ahead and weave it in off. Change your mind, I just tied it a few more times and then cut it off. But now we are done with the cup. So when you do your right side, it will be a little bit easier. So remember how I mentioned this one, we started off with the strap because this is the corner that's going on the left side of our body. Well, for this one, you're going to tie it to this corner. You're going to crochet upwards. You're going to start off with your chain 2 and single crochet into the stitch. Once you make it all the way to the top, you're going to do another chain for your neck part, and then you're going to do the scallop back down. You're going to do your chain 2, work all the way down, and then you're going to do your chain for your waist side, well, your body side, and then you're going to do your single crochet back here, and that's where you'll end off, and you'll have your 2 cups. And now we can then attach this together. Now to attach this, I have the tops upside down, which means I'm working on the right side of the top now. So I'm going to start off by adding some yarn here, and then we're going to crochet, single crochet all the way till we get here to connect it. So let me grab my brown yarn, and we're going to insert it into this corner piece right here. So this one, you're just going to add your yarn and just tie it to your piece. I'm going to do 2 ties, and then I'm going to single crochet. First, actually, let's take your hook, go through the stitch, pull through, and then just go ahead and yarn 1 first, or chain 1, and then go ahead and just single crochet across. Actually, I feel like people might get confused with the chains, so let's just take that out really quick. So just take your yarn, pull through, and just start single crocheting. Single crochet until you make it to the end over here, and then I'll show you how to connect it. Okay, so I made it to this corner right here, and remember how I had that brown piece? I just crocheted around it. You could cut it off or crochet around it, whatever you prefer. But now we're going to connect these 2 pieces together with a single crochet. So I'm going to go into this corner side, so right here, and just go straight through, pull my yarn through, and then I'll take my yarn over, and then pull through both. And I just single crochet that together. And then I'm going to go ahead and just single crochet the rest of this corner, or this side right here, and then I'll be back. So I made it to the end here, and you can cut off your yarn and stop right here if you want. Now, because I'm making this up as I go along, I think I'm going to add some kind of border to the bottom, so I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But if you want to stop here, you can go ahead and do that, and then I'll probably be back another day and see if I'll show you guys how it turns out. Also, if you want this part right here to have more coverage or support, you just have to, you can just sew in the sides right here, just to make it a little bit more secure. But that's what it looks like for now, so I'll be back if I change the bottom of this. But if you wanted to add more brown to the bottom, you can just chain 1 and then crochet. But again, I'll be back to show you if I do anything else. I just checked, and this video is a little bit over 20 minutes long, so what I'm going to do is add a part 3, and I'll show you how if I decide to change any of the borders. Remember, if you want to stop here, all you have to do is just cut your yarn and then just sew it in like how I usually show you guys how to sew things in, or like tie it to the back. And then again, if you want to add something here to make it more secure, just sew it. But this is it for now, and then if you want to see part 3, you'll see how I do my border.